We've gone 15 years without an execution in Indiana.
Indiana now has secured pentobarbital.
I wanted to know where the Department of Corrections got the drugs from, and does it meet Eighth Amendment standards for violating cruel and unusual punishment.
There are 8 people who are sentenced to death in this state alone.
I still believe in capital punishment. I subscribe to that as a form of ultimate justice.
I've got mixed feelings on it.
I know that Joseph's crimes are horrendous.
Executing Mr. Corcoran.
Not a day for rejoicing and celebration.
He cannot distinguish between reality and delusions.
And we should not, in Indiana, execute people who are seriously mentally ill.
Does Joseph Corcoran deserve to die?
Just after midnight, Indiana held its first execution in 15 years. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Julian Tikaram.
And I'm Jessica Walter. The Fort Wayne man, Joseph Corcoran, who was found guilty of murder in the 90s, died by lethal injection.
21 Alive reporter Justin Lemke was in Michigan City, where the execution took place, and has the latest.
This morning at 12:44 a.m., Joseph Corcoran was pronounced dead. The Indiana State Department of Corrections executed him by lethal injection, and this marks the first one in 15 years. His last words were, "Not really, let's get this over with." Joseph Corcoran received a guilty verdict for murdering 4 people, including James Corcoran, Robert Turner, Timothy Bricker, and Douglas Stillwell back in 1997. Corcoran then received the death sentence in 1999 and had been on death row since over the past 20 years. Plus, his attorneys have been appealing this decision, claiming Corcoran is severely mentally ill and therefore should not be executed. However, the state continued their pursuit in executing him. There were also protesters out here this morning protesting the execution of Corcoran, and I got a chance to talk with one of them.
It's not a coincidence that this kind of killing is done in the middle of the night. The intention is that people wouldn't notice it, that people would just go to bed and get up the next day and not have to acknowledge that anything has happened. So there are dozens and dozens of people who have decided to come out in the cold in the middle of the night to say we will witness what our state is doing in our name. We will witness that our state tax dollars and our citizenship is supporting a killing, the most premeditated of killings that is scheduled at this time and at this place.
Governor Eric Holcomb did not intervene, and the execution went on as scheduled. Now there are only 7 prisoners on death row in the Hoosier State. Reporting from Michigan City, Justin Lemke, 21 Alive News.
Justin, thank you. And Governor Eric Holcomb sent out a statement following Corcoran's execution. It reads in part, quote, "Joseph Corcoran's case has been reviewed repeatedly over the last 25 years. His sentence has never been overturned and was carried out as ordered by the court." And Attorney General Todd Rokita also issued a statement reading in part, quote, "Joseph Corcoran's case worked its way through our judicial system, and today he finally paid his debt to society as justice was provided to his victims."